Hello, and welcome to another episode of the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host, Eric Rodriguez, here every Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific Time, 11 p.m. Eastern Time on the GSMC Sports Network, here to talk about everything we love is professional wrestling. So, we have a lot for you today on tap. We have our WWE Monday Night Raw review. We have our WWE NXT preview. We're also going to talk about Kevin Owens has not yet come to an agreement with WWE in terms of contract talks. And in our fourth segment, we're going to talk to someone who has come to an agreement in terms of contract talks. WWE Women's Division Superstar Asuka, former WWE Raw Women's Champion, SmackDown. She's done it all. She's done it all. We're going to talk about her signing a long-term deal with WWE. And then in our fifth and final segment, something we do every Tuesday night, I bring you guys into my DeLorean, gun it to 88 miles per hour. I'm just kidding. I'm a huge Back to the Future fan, like a Doc Brown. Just imagine, joining me. We're going to go back on this date of September 3rd. We're going to talk about some iconic wrestling moments that happened, a couple of birthdays as well. So, let's go and do it. But anyways, thank you guys so much for tuning into the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. It is Tuesday. Hope you guys had an amazing Labor Day weekend. Y'all who had, a 3-day weekend. Hope you had fun, safe, awesome memories. Took a lot of pictures, maybe, for photo albums, maybe for the gram, or just do it for, what? Something that I got to be honest with you guys. I'm not a huge picture taker kind of guy. And let me explain. I don't know. I just feel like I don't want to say like, oh, I just live in the moment, bro. Like, who cares about like, posting pictures on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and all that kind of stuff. For me, I kind of just like to, live life the way it comes. Taking pictures is cool and all, but under this, prominent day and age of digital media, I don't know. I just don't feel the need to. And, and I'm not hating on people who do. By all means, it's entertaining as hell where, people do that, where they scroll on Instagram and stuff like that. So by all means, that's the way, you like to, show your pictures off and stuff like that. That's 1,010% cool. Not hating on it. 1,010%. But, I guess I'm just not that kind of guy. All right, so let's go ahead and dig on into this episode of the GSMC Wrestling Lore podcast. But before we do any of that, I want to remind you guys to give that super thanks, that super chats, so we can get things going here in terms of, so you guys can become part of the mix. Whether if it's got a burning, whether if you have a burning question or just a hot take in terms of professional wrestling, or if you just got something you've been dying to share, we are all ears here at the GSMC Sports Network. This show is all about keeping you guys in the mix, keeping the conversations lively, keeping the party going, making sure your voice is absolutely 110% all this podcast really needs. Don't be shy and drop the thoughts inside the chat. And if you really want to make sure your comment or question gets noticed, why not use that super chat box? It's that $sign below the chat box. Just, send in your message, your comment, concern, and it will be featured on the show. Plus, it's a great way to support our channel. Your super chats helps us keep the lights on and bring you guys even more awesome sports content and this, in this case, wrestling content. We are absolutely super grateful for each and every one of you guys, obviously, who tune in daily to the GSMC Sports Network. Your support makes all the difference. So let's keep the conversation going. Let's make this show bigger, better, and stronger than ever. With the help of you guys. And if the super chat, once again, is not your thing, we are still at, we still have the tips and donations link at the gsmcpodcast.net. Shoot me your comments, questions, and concerns. Tell me what you like. Tell me what you don't like. Superman punch that like and subscribe button to the show. Also, follow the show, follow the network so you guys can be, up to date in terms of what happens with the GSMC podcast, podcast.net. So, yeah. All right, so we got that out of the way. Let's talk about some WWE Monday Night Raw. Rollins. I'm just kidding. Seth Rollins surprisingly was not on Monday Night Raw, which was I feel like it was kind of sad. It's kind of sad. I miss Seth Rollins. Got to be honest. All right, so let's dig on into it. So WWE Monday Night Raw started off with Rhea Ripley, obviously, building up momentum toward Bad Blood, and I thought about the match Liv Morgan and Dominic Mysterio had with the Terror Twins. I overall knew it was going to be like one of those throwaway squash matches. I knew it wasn't really going to be taken seriously. Obviously it means a lot for Rhea. It means a lot for Rhea. For Damien, he's like, you know what? I have to go against this clown that obviously I'm 10 times, maybe even 1,000 times better than Dominic Mysterio. But, they're just building momentum toward Bad Blood. So we're going to have a WWE Women's World Heavyweight Championship match at Bad Blood. They kind of hinted at it today. Rhea said that she wants the championship. She's done, fixating on what happened between her and Dominic Mysterio. And it was overall a failed sneak attack by Liv Morgan. She could, well, not really a failed, but they did get to the knee of Rhea Ripley. But I don't know. She's still, she's a hell of a fighter, and she's not going to back down. Damian Priest came out, obviously, with the save, and the Terra Twins, stood tall again. This promo was, it was hit or miss with me. I'm kind of, I kind of want to see the Terra Twins kind of face people outside of the Judgment Day. Like, I know they hate the Judgment Day. I know that, it just pisses them off. Pisses them off 1,010%. But, I just want to see Rhea Ripley kind of move on. Liv Morgan, she's not the best WWE World's Women's, champion. I feel like, on Monday Night Raw, especially heading into Netflix, they need to have somebody bigger, better. So there's no doubt in my mind that before Raw goes to Netflix, that you're going to see Liv Morgan lose that title. I'm not a huge Liv Morgan fan, but I'm not a hater. I'm not a hater. Like I follow her. I follow her more as a chaser, as opposed to like as a champion when she finally wins it. It's kind of like, it's all right. You know what I mean? But overall, Rhea Ripley's going to get what she wants. I think she's going to win in the future. But the thing that they have right now, the whole, between, the Terra Twins and, Judgment Day for kicking them out, it is what it is. It is what it is at this point. All right, next we had Chad Gable pumps up American Made. We had the American Made take on the Alpha Academy. And I overall thought this team of the Alpha Academy, they really needed this. I feel like they really needed this match for the win. Obviously, it did not happen. Maxine Dupree was actually pretty damn good. She was pretty damn good. She was a shining star. She was shining bright in the match. Ivy and I was able to tap out Maxine Dupree for the win. Chad Gable, straight out said the Wyatt Sicks sucks. The Wyatt Sicks sucks. It's, I at this point, a lot of people are pretty skeptical about the faction in itself, about Bo Dallas, Dexter Loomis, Eric Rowan, Joe Gacy, and of course Nikki Cross. But I kind of came to the overall conclusion that it's going to take time. It's going to take patience. Not sometimes, WWE fans, wrestling fans, they don't have patience. Maybe this is building something bigger, better, and stronger. There was a time where I was like, this whole bloodline thing, it's getting kind of old, Jimmy and Jey Uso, the tag team champions, Roman Reigns, the WWE Undisputed Champion, like it's getting old. But, it all served its purpose. It all served its purpose, and eventually it turned out to be one of the best storylines in WWE history. So, definitely think that there's, just got to be patient. It's got to be patient. So anyways, they challenged the Wyatt Sicks to a street fight, an 8-man street fight next week on Monday Night Raw. It was accepted by Uncle Howdy. And then in the next match, we saw Zelina Vega take on Shayna Baszler. And Shayna Baszler was, she was able to pick up the win, which, kind of thought she was going to. Love Zelina Vega. She did kind of have overall like an emotional entrance. It was kind of crazy. Her career has been, she hasn't really had any shining spots in terms of just accomplishments in terms of her career inside the WWE squared circle. I think that maybe she finds a tag team partner to be WWE Women's World Tag Team Champion, but I just don't see her as a WWE World Women's Champion or a WWE Women's Champion. Now, I'm not trying to sound mean. I'm not trying to sound like a jerk, but it's just, I don't know. It's just overall, I think she has all the talent in the world, yes, and I definitely think, size in terms of WWE, the people like to say it doesn't matter, but in WWE and choreographed scripted material, it matters. It's cold and harsh to say, but it matters. Like when you saw the NXT, Women's World Championship match between Roxanne Perez and Jada Parker at No Mercy on Sunday, you kind of saw Jada Parker, like, kind of wait on Roxanne Perez a little bit. Like it seemed like she was, kind of willing to pursue a match that was too fast, too physical for Roxanne Perez based on her size. Also, you saw this at WrestleMania where you saw Bianca Belair take on, Becky Lynch, where Becky Lynch just looked from the get go, she looked outmatched. Like it was, it was kind of bad. I don't want to say embarrassing because I don't, want to seem like a jerk, but it just, I don't know. It just didn't seem like it really fit. But Zelina Vega, she's a great superstar. All these women superstars are very talented. But I don't know. It's just at the end of the match, she was beaten down. Obviously, Laura Valkyria came out and she was beaten down as well. So then you had the Pure Fusion Collective standing tall, Sonya Deville, Shayna Baszler, and Zoe Stark. Kind of finally having that moment in the limelight, saying that, hey, if you want to come get us, but I don't want to say it's too little, too late. I feel like something needs to happen. I want to see these girls win the WWE Women's World Tag Team Championships. That's definitely in the future, and there's no doubt in my mind that they will be the number one contenders. Although we're gonna talk about it next, but yeah, we'll just move on. Next, we have CM Punk addresses Bash at Berlin, talks about fighting Gunther. CM Punk can't fight Gunther. He cannot fight Gunther. He cannot. I don't think that match would be just because of Gunther. I feel like it would be an amazing match, but I feel like he'd be carrying CM Punk the whole time. And that's not an indictment of CM Punk being old. Like when CM Punk joined AEW, and I think it was about a year ago today that CM Punk was ultimately let go by AEW because it wasn't huge speculation saying that Tony Khan had a huge disgruntlement between him and CM Punk in the backstage, but he also said, CM Punk, he's getting old, he's getting riddled with injuries, and so far he's been in WWE for almost about a year, and he's riddled with injuries. He doesn't have the same spark that he used to. And I'm a huge CM Punk fan. And I got to be honest, it kind of burns me to say this, but this whole bracelet thing, like, I don't know. I feel like this could have been booked better. Obviously, like I keep, reiterating in terms of the podcast that I feel like this script is kind of constantly being like, all right, let's wing it. Like, let's just wing it. Let's have this happen one week. Let's have this happen one week. Eventually, it was supposed to be CM Punk taking on Seth Rollins for the WWE World Championship at WrestleMania 40 before he got injured during that Royal Rumble match. He was supposed to win it, but I don't know. I don't believe in it anymore. Like I just it's getting too much. Drew McIntyre attacks once again CM Punk. Wash, rinse, and repeat. One of them hits a story. One of them hits a promo. One of them attacks the other. Vice versa, and it just happens over and over again. And Drew McIntyre was able to take the bracelet back, and he broke it into millions of pieces. Forced the beads down CM Punk's throat. And, for me, I was kind of like, finally, now we get to fight for something other than these damn beads. But I don't know. I just, and just to kind of add insult to injury, you had Drew McIntyre go backstage where CM Punk was being loaded into an ambulance on a stretcher with the neck brace on. And then, like, he attacked him again. And I don't know. It just, at this point, it's kind of old. It's kind of old. WWE fans are ready to move on to something bigger, better, and stronger than ever. Have that match at Bad Blood. Should be a Hell in a Cell match. Both superstars should absolutely bleed their brains out. Although Drew McIntyre doesn't bleed, he doesn't cut, and which is good. Which is a WWE protocol. They don't want their superstars cutting. But I don't know. This has to end to the point where I think it has to end. I'm kind of over it. I think it's about time to put it to bed. All right, next, Ilja Dragunov defeats Dragon Lee and Dominic Mysterio to move on. We also saw the number one contenders match. We saw the Unholy Union defeat Damage Control to my chagrin. I thought, I thought it was dumb. I'm done seeing the Unholy Union fight Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. They're just going to lose. They're just going to lose. Let's just be, brutally honest, Mike. I would love to see Damage Control kind of get in that spot where they're kind of fighting for that babyface role. They're kind of, once when they step into the ring with Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill, to be, you have the fans that are rooting for Damage Control. You have fans that are rooting for Belair, also Cargill. And I feel like it would be a lot better of a story plot there. But now you have your heel versus your babyface. And sometimes that's not the best way to go about it. Usually in WWE PLEs and pay-per-views, that's what sells. You have the face champion. you have the heel contender, or vice versa. Although recently in WWE, the heel champion seems like it's been more successful, like Roman Reigns, like Brock Lesnar, and it's just the list goes on and on and on. And it should be interesting to find out what happens, kind of moving forward. Sami Zayn confronts Gunther, saying that he's the only one to defeat him. He wants a shot at the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Braun Strowman moves on against Sheamus and Ludwig Kaiser. Sheamus is attacked by Pete Dunne, and because of that interference, Strowman picked up the victory. And in the main event, you saw Damien Priest, Jey Uso against the Judgment Day. Liv Morgan was able to try to prove dividends once again, but then Rhea Ripley came out. And same with the Judgment Day, all the drama happening with the Judgment Day. It's wash, rinse, and repeat on Monday Night Raw. Something's got to change, especially if you want to compete with a lot of other streaming services or shows that aren't on Netflix. People hitting up Monday Night Raw on Netflix, they click into that, and I do this all the time. I'm like, you know what? I really want to watch this show on Netflix. But then, you kind of look around a little bit and you're like, oh, Peaky Blinders, that looks interesting. And then you pick that show instead. Uh, you know, Being on Netflix, could do so many great things, but it can also include, other competitions, like in, shows and shows and shows, movies. It's hard. It's, wrestling, professional wrestling. I feel like with streaming services, it could get better, but WWE Monday Night Raw needs to step it up. I could see why there's a decrease in viewership, after the PLEs, but I don't know. Should move on to our next segment, WWE NXT preview. We're going to talk about it here, so do not go anywhere. Grab your favorite snack, grab your favorite ice cold beverage, and join me here in about like 25 seconds.